So how's it going, Johan?
It's good, good. What can I say? We've had a great couple of years together now, and I was counting them the other day, and I found out that this is the seventh year since I started. So, yeah, it's cool. This year is maybe a bit not a very tight schedule this year, but we it starts up the next month with a lot of festivals and things around in Europe and South America, actually.
That's fantastic. Candlemass, you are about to release a new EP, right? Called Black Star on May
Yeah,
9th via Napalm Records.
yeah,
So,
right.
yeah, how excited are you guys for this release, especially because it marks the band's 40th anniversary?
Yeah, it's connected to the 40 years anniversary, of course. And yeah, it's to me, it's a great song. It's a cool EP to buy, and there are other things happening this year as well. There is actually a documentary. A lot of people are working on a movie right now that should be about the beginning of Candlemass and all the years through till today. So that's
Mhm.
pretty cool. I don't know exactly when it is supposed to be done, but they're working with it for full time for the moment. So that's a pretty cool thing.
Yes, it is really cool, and I'm sure
Yeah,
we're all gonna love it. Because
yeah, yeah.
yeah, the other day I was watching another documentary that has Candlemass. I think it's from 2002.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know that
right.
one, yeah, from
Yeah,
that year's tour and festivals and all that. And it's
yeah,
really
yeah,
cool too. So it's
yeah,
always good to see the sort of backstage of how things
yeah.
happen.
Everything is not glitter and glamour.
Yeah, very true. Yes, yes. But
But a lot of fun.
yes, I'm betting you guys enjoy yourselves a lot.
Yeah.
Yourselves, sorry. You guys enjoy
Yeah.
yourselves a lot while doing it. So let's talk a little bit about the EP, please. So it has two original songs. One of them is instrumental. The other one's
Yeah.
already out, which is the title track, Black Star. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So the fans can go and check it out already. But it also
Yeah.
features two covers,
Yeah.
Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, and also Pentagram's classic, Forever My Queen. So how
Yeah.
did you guys come to the choice of what songs, especially the cover songs, are going to be
Yeah.
released?
Actually, as most of the people already know, Leif is an old Black Sabbath fan, and I guess that's the reason why he wanted to do this one. And then he's an old fan of Pentagram as well. And I'm not that familiar with Pentagram as I am with Black Sabbath, but yeah, it was a lot of fun doing the songs.
Yeah, so and the band has gone through different phases throughout the years. I mean, 40 years, right? Of course.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
of
like a
course.
lifetime, right?
Yeah,
So with different singers also. And you were the first, and you are the now current singer, and let's hope forever,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll continue as long everybody wants it.
yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
So yeah, and it's sort of like going back to the origins.
And actually, I have to tell you that I know all the other singers as well. So we've met a lot of times. Yeah, just for you to know.
Yeah. Fantastic. So, but there are, and talking about that, there are slight changes in the sound of Candlemass. And I can notice that according to the singer. And I wouldn't call it like adapting to the singer, but I would say that, and I'm going to ask this as a question, is this because the writing process is, I know that Leif is the main songwriter, but is
Yeah,
it
yeah.
because the writing process is in a way collaborative and he brings characteristics also of your style, your singing style into how the music is written.
Yeah, I think so. I'm a songwriter as well, and I have a lot of melodies running around in my head. So I guess, what can I say? We have a good time during the recordings in the studio, and we have a lot of fun, and we're trying out different kinds of things. And then all of a sudden, everybody thinks that this is the right line, right way for this song. And of course, Leif has got what do you say? He's always has got an idea of what it's supposed to be in one way, but we're free to have fun and find out what suit the song best, of course. So but we try out a lot of things, and I really love that kind of way to work, because you can put a lot of different kind of vocals on pretty much the same chords. So all of a sudden you find the right spirit of the particular song you're working on. So that's you feel good when you find that the final one.
Yeah, I see. And I noticed that since you came back into the band, it was, as you said, 7 years ago, 2018, right? 7 years ago.
Yeah.
There's a more, and I mean it in the best possible way. There is a more old school feeling to the songs, like the way the songs sound. It's a little different from what Candlemass was doing before with other singers. Do you agree with that? Just the feel of the
but I
song.
guess the reason is, we're in the 60s now, all of us, and we grew up in that area, 70s, listen to the 70s, the 80s music, and it's a lot of us in the music. I guess that's the main reason. And Leif is a very big fan of, the old school sounds. Yeah, the way it turns with guys in our age. And I guess it would be embarrassing if we would try to do something that we're not.
Get it. So and you talked about this influences and the things you listen to, but
Yeah.
and what music still influences Candlemass after all these years? But of course, the things that used to influence you before. Do you have any influences that are newer that came into the fold?
If we found any new bands, you
Any new
mean?
bands or maybe older things like, I don't know, classical music, whatever that
Yeah. But me, for example, I've always been. I love the, what do you call it, light classic music, all the nice melodies and stuff like that. That's I'm very open-minded to good classical music, and I can't say that I'm really get teased by the pop music and stuff like that. But all of a sudden you can hear a good song, and a good song, it doesn't matter the genre is, it's still a good song. And I used to watch TV to keep connected to the modern times, and sometimes you see young bands. I used to keep an eye on a guy called Jealousy. Do you know who that guy is? Chaoszine, the band. He's a very good singer anyway. They've done a couple of great songs, in my opinion. And it's hard to tempt an old guy like me, I must say. But all of a sudden you find something that you like and you listen to it more than once. And there are a lot of good artists out there, of course. And I'm open-minded to nice melodies and beautiful voices and heavy guitars. So I'm open-minded, but I can't give you any special artists that I've found lately for the moment. But all of a sudden, when I'm watching, I see things that I find very interesting. But it's of course a good inspiration to listen to other kinds of music, and if you hear anything interesting, you might get inspired by it, and that's the way how we develop ourselves.
Yeah, and do you get inspired by other things other than music?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, for sure.
And the way music is made, this is something that I tend to ask more established artists. So the way the music is made and consumed nowadays with the streaming services and social media playing a very important part in a band's career. Because nowadays, everyone that's starting, oh, my social media, this and that. So it has drastically changed since the 80s when you started.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you feel about all that?
In one way, it's very good because, for kids these days, they can buy their own equipment, and if they learn how the program and equipment works, they can pretty much make their own recordings, and so it's much cheaper. I still remember when we were doing a demo with one of my bands when I was I don't know, 19, 20 years old. I think we paid 5,000 Swedish kroner. It's about $500 for 4 songs, making a demo back in the 80s. That's a lot of money for being back in the 80s. Now you can buy yourself a computer for a couple of thousands and make your own music. And that's the fantastic thing about it. But of course, it's hard if you're not interested in social media. Like a lot of people in my age, we're not that interested in, at least I can speak for myself. Of course, a lot of people are really do like it, but I sadly realize that it's a very big and important thing to be involved in. So that has nothing to do with the artwork of making music, but it's necessary, I guess, to reach through the sea of artists out there on the internet. So I believe it's necessary, and if it's good or not, I don't know. It's good for people that can't reach any record companies that want to do records with them. They can make their own stuff and put it out. That's the good thing, but it's hard. You can't earn that kind of money that you could do back in the, let's say, the 80s because of the streaming. You hardly get nothing from the streaming companies. It's not not a lot of money, I can tell. If you're not a world famous artist, of course. You have to work, you have to write new music, and you have to be out there playing for your fans.
Yes.
And that's maybe, of course, a good thing.
Yes, it is. That is a good thing. So this whole thing brings me to a question. Like I don't know if you've seen that on social media. Pentagram has got a newfound audience, all because of some memes that people did that were made of Bobby Liebling's facial expressions on stage, with a fan and his hair blowing. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
So it has given them so many new followers, and even on Spotify to listen to their music.
Yeah,
So
that's cool.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's going viral on social media, the new way for bands to be discovered by the next generations. And do you think that takes away from the music? That should be central, the music, right? And give
that should be good for the music, because a lot of good music were done back in time. So if all the new young people find the good old music, the good old music is not necessarily played on radio. You got the hits from all the old bands, and if you're a real fan of heavy music, the hits are not the songs that you're listening to, and when you were caught about when you fell in love with them. You want the whole albums, and your favorites, it's almost never the hits. So as long as maybe they fall in love in the hits in the beginning, and then they find the songs behind the hit, and then they find the real band, and I guess that's the way we were listening to music back in time. We listened to the whole album, and from the start to the end, and you have to do that to find, because hard rock, heavy music, it's not easy to grab it right away for people that do not listen to hard music. For example, I have a friend that I've been seeing a lot lately, just for a month or something, on a daily basis, and he wasn't into heavy music at all. But I made him listen to a couple of bands, and he actually admitted that, you want listening to the songs a couple of times, then all of a sudden you find what it's all about. So and now he can gladly listen to heavy music. So that's pretty cool. But whenever you put the song on the very first time, some people screaming, "Oh, put down the volume," or something like that. But for example, when we're talking about the young people, that's a big difference that I have seen when it comes to Candlemass, that we've got a lot of new young people coming for the shows, and that's pretty amazing, singing along with the lyrics from the albums back in the 80s. So, you feel, what do you say, humble and privileged in a way to see that you've done something that has reached a lot of hearts. So that's a cool thing. And from 15, 20 years, 25, they were not even born when the albums were made. So that's a cool thing. Same with all the old bands these days, that the young people, they have found the bands from back in time and starting to love it. Because that's where the place where it all started up in the very beginning, with Black Sabbath and all the bands back in time. So there's a lot of genres these days in the hard rock area, so I don't even know the name of all of them. Speed metal, there are a lot of genres, but to me it's just hard rock or heavy metal. That's what I call it.
Yes, yes, and you know it, and you're part of the history of it, so you have the property to say it.
You can call it whatever you want,
exactly.
but it's okay. But to me, it's all heavy music, hard rock, heavy metal.
Yeah, and I need to ask you this, because Candlemass have announced a one-off performance with Messiah Marcolin for next September at the Rock Hard Festival in Greece, in Athens, right?
Yeah, right.
So
right.
how did that come up, and will you be part of that performance as well?
No, I'm not a part of that performance, because the Greeks, they loved Candlemass from the very beginning. And we are very popular in Greece. And I think the reason is because, he has a part of their history, the music listeners in Greece. So I do respect, they wanted us to do a gig with Messiah. And what can I say? I wish him the best. And, he was a character in the band. And we've actually met 2 nights together, partying together. And I wish him the best. I hope they're going to make a great show down there. Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it. So before we go, is there anything else you'd like to say to our fans, especially the fans in Finland?
The fans in Finland. Yeah, I think we're connected because of the cold winter nights and the dark of the northern parts of Scandinavia. So we've got a lot of things in common, and there are a lot of heavy musicians in Finland as well. So I say, I wish all you heavy metal guys in Finland the best.
Oh, that's fantastic. So
yeah,
Johan, thanks very much for this interview. It was great having you and
thank
this
you for
conversation.
calling me up.